No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. And today we have the podcast that you've all been fucking asking for all these months and years.
Hell yeah.
This is the father interview.
This is the father.
How you doing, man?
Splendid.
Splendid?
Splendid.
What brings you out to LA? I saw you were at the Day and Night Fest, but I got there too late to partake.
Day and night, and I got a show on the 16th.
We're drinking Bullet bourbon out
Yeah.
here.
I honestly, like, when I feel like I had no taste buds, I actually really enjoyed that. But
You're a fan of this?
I like for a year, like I went in for a year just on straight, just that. And
Really?
now I can't really stomach it as much anymore.
What have you been drinking lately?
I go through like waves of shit, or just mixtures, like one day this, one day that, one day that.
Right.
If I'm at a bar, something better, but otherwise I'll just go to the liquor store and get Ciroc, Hennessy, or Bullet.
Right.
Or
yeah, I'm
what's
a
okay?
fan
What's
of the Bullet. I'm normally like a Hennessy guy, but I'm enjoying it.
You had Casamigos tequila?
We might.
George
I'm not
Clooney's?
sure. Hey, Rich Bo Slim just walked in. What's going on, bro?
George Clooney.
Oh yeah, and he's asking for the bottle right away.
What?
He got a real serious look on his face asking for the bottle.
Huh?
That camera's right there too, by the way.
Yeah.
I used to drink Jameson, and now I drink Hennessy. And somebody told me that was me, like trying to adapt to doing a rap podcast. That like Jameson is kind of a racist drink,
because like,
but it's associated with Irish people.
I mean, Jameson tastes like shit to me,
Yeah,
but you know, maybe in a mixed drink it's nice.
I grew up on that wave,
Yeah.
the Jameson wave.
I tried Scotch once. I thought like, cause I don't know, it seemed like a grown man's thinking drink. Like, I'm gonna
Right.
sit in my study and
Yeah.
swivel my Scotch.
Well, you ever
pour
watch
it from a
Mad Men?
decanter. I saw like 3 episodes.
And you start to get this like weird fantasy of like maybe I'll get a lot of
Yeah.
work done and I'll be a creative
Yeah, like,
genius
I
if I
wanna have,
drink
like,
a lot
I
of
wanna have
scotch and smoke.
Like, yeah, exactly. But not, I mean, I want a big office. Like that was one of my like when I was younger. I was like I always wanted like I don't know. When I was younger, I had real stupid ass goals. Like one of them was like to be a scientist. Another one was to work in a cubicle.
Really?
Strange, right? I don't know. I like the idea of being in a massive group,
Right.
But within my own quarters where nobody really should walk into.
The idea of you just having this little safe space for yourself,
Yeah.
but I don't think that's how it works when you actually are in a
No.
cubicle at
It's
all.
not.
They don't leave you alone. I don't
No,
think.
it was a retarded fantasy of mine from when I was little.
How many times have you seen Office Space?
Office Space? Several.
Yeah, I've seen it probably like 10 times, and I'm not sure
Yeah.
why, but it's a really great film.
It is.
Yeah.
I don't because I don't. It reminds me of
What you avoided,
yeah.
basically.
that and I like that lifestyle.
Well, they utilize gangster rap in like a really interesting
Yeah.
way too, where they're like expressing
Yeah.
the concerns of these poor people.
I felt how the main character felt before shit took off. That's how I felt.
Really, you're just completely disgruntled and down on life.
Yeah, I was like, I'm in here. I don't really intend to be here that long, so I'm a half-ass it. And why does motherfucker keep asking me to do the same shit over and over again? I'm not gonna do it.
What was the job before you quit the rap?
I was working on like a food truck. I worked at the bar. It was like one location, but they had a food truck, they had a bar, and then they had this marketplace as well.
Okay.
It was a barbecue joint, but I worked in all 3 of those.
Right.
So it was like a mixture.
But would you describe it as like the worst, or was it just
Hell
whatever?
nah. I mean, it wasn't even the worst. This shit was entertaining as hell. Like I would go to like beer festivals and shit and serve food and get drunk as shit. Like it was one of those good ass like, oh, I'm just young and I don't really give a fuck about my job that much.
Because
Ass
what age
jobs.
are you? You're still fairly young, right?
I'm 25 now.
Yeah,
I was
so you-
probably 20. When was I doing that? 22.
But so
21?
when you were 22 working at this place, did you have it in your mind like I got to make it as a rapper?
Nah, not necessarily. I was like, in my head, I was already like, I'm fine. I'm not gonna be here that long. However long it takes, I know I'm not gonna be doing this for that long.
What age did you realize that you had enough talent that you probably wouldn't be selling food the rest of your life?
Oh fuck yeah.
You always felt that way, or
Yeah, I always felt that way.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, like cause I started off in like working in the hospital and shit. So
Okay.
I was like, okay, this is cool, but I went even lower in jobs
Right.
before I went up. So I started off in a good spot, and then I was like, fuck this, I don't like this. Went and did some other simple shit. I was an ice cream man at one point.
Ice cream and just you in the truck?
Yeah, me in a truck. But I mean, I was more so like artisan ice cream. It wasn't like, oh, here's like your dollar, your scooper.
You're describing a lot of things that some people might describe as hipster-ish.
Yeah.
Was that your scene? Like, you know?
That was the easiest jobs to get when you don't have like good identification or any type of history,
Right.
job history and shit like that. it was real. Like all those jobs are under the table ass jobs. Like food truck, they just paid me out the cash register.
Right.
The ice cream shit was the same thing.
Right.
Yeah. Like I signed like after I was already working there for like a year. That's when I signed like a W-2, and then I ended up quitting like the next couple of weeks.
From a social perspective, though, were you meeting a shitload of interesting people and like
Yeah.
meeting all these girls and everything from that situation?
Yeah. I spent like that was like the first time ever going to like festivals and stuff. Like,
Right.
Because otherwise, I would never really have been doing stuff like that.
Right. But so that's what I got from. I was listening. I'm probably going to reference back to this a few times, but the kind of neat interview that you did like over a year ago. I got from listening to that you were really part of like the art, / hip hop merge scene in Atlanta. That's like what you come from, and I haven't spent much time in Atlanta. But was that?
That was like when I got off work. That's what I went and did.
Right. You go to shows and parties and everything.
Yeah. So like the hipster scene of Atlanta.
But in that scene, was there anybody who seemed like their career had taken off since Atlanta's mostly known for dudes who are a little more commercial, gangster?
That was it happened. It occurs less in that scene.
Right.
I don't know because it's more crabby.
Right.
It's more crab in the barrel like mentality. But whereas like all the niggas that came from the South Side and all that shit, they was like, oh, I'm out here, I'm getting it. Sign a deal, go along and keep making the same what they doing.
Right.
And, it's on. It's always gonna be popular.
Right.
Yeah. So I feel like they do it easier. We're people in that scene, that hipster scene, are too hypercritical of what they're doing.
Right.
Whereas other people are just like, nah, bro, this shit tight. I'm about to put it out. It's fine.
And a lot of times they don't really have any real like desire to have the commercial element.
Yeah.
Like they're all about
exactly.
the art, but then they're sort of like really
that.
shy away from like any sort of business type thing.
Yeah.
But did you always feel from a young age that you'd be able to sort of straddle that line and be able to do both?
I mean, I didn't think I was gonna be doing anything in the art field.
Right.
Because like it was a hobby of mine until like I hit college, and then parents like, oh, make sure you get a job that's going like pick something that's gonna make sure that you are paid. Like, oh, work in the hospital. People always need those jobs.
Right.
At the time, I'm just like, I don't even really want to go to college, but all right, I'm gonna go do this.
Right.
Because it's gonna get me away from this shitty ass city.
Right. Who would you like? I don't know if people talk about your influences that much. Who was it really that like had you excited about rap music before you really started rapping?
About actually trying my hand at it, or just shit I was used to like. Because there's a whole point period. There's a point in period where I was just listening to random ass shit that I found on MySpace.
Like your whole childhood, pretty much.
Nah, not until like high school.
Okay.
Because before that, I didn't really listen to music.
Oh,
I was just like a completely visual person. I just looked at shit.
But were you making art or anything, or were you just into like?
Yeah. I was. I drew.
Oh, okay.
That was it. Like concept art.
Right.
Like I wanted to do game art and design when I was like mad little.
When did that trickle out and stop being an interest of yours?
It never stopped. It was more so like I was how people like they tell you that be more realistic.
Right.
That was
So I'll be a rapper.
yeah. Like the rapper thing that came completely later. That was just like, oh, I can do this shit.
Right.
Like I've been doing this. Like I can shoot my own videos. Like I've been doing that already. So I can just let me spit some shit on this cool beat and then.
So did the production and the video production, did those like completely predate the rapping?
Yeah.
Okay.
It completely predated.
So you were just like, what was the first part that you were doing, the beats or the?
I was writing in college.
Okay.
Because like after my first year of college, I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. So I was like, I'd be at my job, walking around in circles, writing, and be like, oh, okay, that's kind of tight. Just doing like not recording or anything like that. It took me a couple more years to work up the courage to actually like recording and that shit. But that's when like I initially started. And then that following year, like sophomore year, is when like the throwing parties in Atlanta and all that shit started to come about.
Right. So were you interested in writing, and you think about writing before you started thinking about writing as like a rap specific thing?
No. It was rap. Because I was listening to a lot of, I don't know, Raekwon, Ghostface and shit.
All right. So when I talked to him about the formation of Awful, I was like, was it obvious from day one that Father was going to be this like really well known rapper? And he was like, not so much. Like that became obvious much later.
Yeah, it was way later. Because before I wasn't even in that. I was more so in the position of creative director.
Exactly. Yeah. I still get that vibe from you really strongly, even though you rap as well.
Yeah, it was very much like, oh, okay, all right, you got the music there, but your visuals suck, bruh. Like that album cover is trash. Like, let me help you make that better.
Right.
Like, that's what I concentrated on. Let me give you some press photos. I did that and helped package people that way. I used to make what were those dumbass things that people used to send to blogs, like press kits?
Press release. Oh, yeah.
I still get those. I used to make those for like artists and shit like that, like random stuff.
But at this time though, you had like no connections. What do you say?
He was a publicist.
Okay, he was an early era publicist. Yeah.
I mean, I was building connections through like random like freelancing and stuff. Because at the same time I was doing freelance jobs, like taking pictures of shit, like going to the West End and no, the W. Like there was a party, there was like a regular party at the W that brought out like, you know, kind of middle of the area celebrities to come do guest DJ sets and shit like that.
Right.
That was the first time I met like Theophilus London. He came and did some shit there.
Awesome.
I used to just film and shoot photos there for a while, getting paid like, I got paid like a couple of like, not even $100. I got paid like so much, and then I got the rest of it in drinks. It was like, okay, like just go to the bar. Go to the bar, you can spend this much at the bar, and I'm gonna pay you this much cash. I'm just like, just give me the cash. I just want all cash. I don't have to be at the bar. I can just do my job and go. They're like,
But sometimes when I DJ shows or whatever, it'll be like, yeah, we're giving you $100, but then we're not giving you any drink tickets. And I'm like, motherfucker, I'm gonna spend $100 at the bar.
exactly.
So,
Like,
yeah.
so you basically just getting over.
They never try that with you anymore. You get the drinking situation under control.
It's better just to. I usually just ask for like a bottle, because they do like certain places they do try that shit.
That's efficient. That's the way to go about it.
Yeah.
So what do you know about Alex? How do you know him? Since he already told me how he knows you.
The first time I met Alex was for an interview for Complex. We met
okay.
at
like 2 years ago at a bar.
Yeah, at a bar. It was like me, Rich Poe, Archibald. There was a couple people there. We had like a little round table in the corner of like an empty ass karaoke bar looking place.
Right.
And we just started, like, he told us like, oh, let's talk about, like, the whole gist was for us to sit there and talk about each other. So like one person had to talk about all the other members of Awful.
Right.
And what they think, like how they thought about them. So by that, like, we got so far, but we realized we all got shit faced before we could finish. So we were like, oh, let's just take it back to your place, Alex. Like, so we went back to his place. We're crashing and chilling. But this also was around the same time that a snowstorm had come in, I think, right? Was that the same time or did we come back?
Yeah, it was a snowstorm, so people
Yeah.
didn't want to leave
Yeah,
the
we-
house. So basically, him and like 4 other people just started staying in my house for like 2 or 3 weeks.
And that's
Yeah.
very rare. Normally rappers don't get along very well with journalists.
We always kind of did, though.
Yeah.
But you have like journalist sensibilities, so I guess that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess that's the sense that you'll get from these people, and Poe too is like everyone, like he didn't start out as a rapper.
Right.
Everyone just, you can do everything.
Right.
In 2016, like everyone is
Yeah.
using the same tool.
Right.
you know.
And it's crazy too, because motherfuckers probably think it's so hard to make a video. But I watch your videos and they're super well done, but they're also like really low production quality. Like the
Yeah.
early stuff. Like now you do
Yeah.
more high end videos for yourself and shit. But that's why I was really impressed with, like, even early on, seeing all these McConan videos you were doing and shit, because I was just like, fuck, he totally gets how to make a video out of fucking nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
And that's a rare thing. But that's like what you find on, like, you know, YouTube and the creative world online now. But you
Yeah.
don't really find that, like, it's hard to find that in the industry because motherfuckers think you need $80,000 worth of camera equipment and shit.
Very true. Like, even I'm like in the part of like, oh, there's no reason for me to do this shit out of like for free anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like, economically, why am I paying this much for a video? I used to pay like absolutely nothing. That shit went up hella hard.
Yeah.
So it's almost, you kind of draw the line between like putting what you've earned back into the video production process,
Right.
or just doing what has been working. So it's like finding that middle ground to where you're not just blowing money for no reason when you could have done the same thing for a lower
But is there
cost.
the sense for you that if, like, okay, you do like one high production video, and then you feel like if you go back to doing regular ass videos that you're
See, I can't do that.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like then basically my output has to slow down
right,
because I'd want to make sure everything looks like the last thing
right.
or better.
And if you'd never stepped it up to a different level, then you'd probably still be cool with like the lo-fi.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a weird like gift and a curse, huh?
Yeah.
So with your own career and your own, I mean, I know I'm jumping all over the place here, but with your own career and everything, I still find it kind of amazing that you're able to identify so much talent and work with so many different artists. Is that like,
Right.
like how do you organize your life so that you can actually have so many people under Awful that you have a say with?
I don't organize my life because it's all like, that's what I have Jerry for. Jerry helps me organize my life.
So he's
'Cause I'm
the
terrible.
organized one.
Yeah, he's way
Ah.
more organized and less involved in the fuckery that be going on day to day with the
Right.
rest of us. So, because I'm usually always distracted by some bullshit.
Right.
And then when I have no distractions, I sit down and play video games for several hours.
Do you find like it's harder for you to be productive now than it was when you were unsuccessful?
Oh hell yeah!
Because you're not hungry like that
Yeah.
anymore?
It ain't even about the hunger in it. It's just like there's so much shit going on. Like when nothing's going on, there's fewer people around you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the time and the space to do. Like I'm still always constantly coming up with ideas in my head.
Right.
But then I don't have that peace and quiet anymore to where like I can sit down and just be like, oh, I'm gonna do this today. Work on this. Blah blah blah. All right, done.
Right.
Like there's no getting away anymore.
So do you say no to opportunities because you want to have more free space to be able to be creative and to be able to think about your life and shit?
It depends on what kind of opportunity.
Because you could be on tour all the time. You could be.
Oh yeah, of course. I don't like being on tour all the time because I like having my schedule open.
Right.
Yeah, I almost don't even like having things planned too far in advance.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, 4 months from now you're gonna be doing this. Then you get closer to that area, it's already locked in.
Yeah.
Money's changed hands.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
And and something else comes up that's way like more
Right.
interesting. It's like, oh man, obligations.
Right.
Like obligations are important, but also I try to avoid too many at one time.
Right. Are you the kind of guy that, like, if it's Tuesday and your girl's like, hey, like, I want to go out Saturday night, and you're kind of like, oh, like, I don't know, because I don't know what's happening Saturday night.
I know I've never known a girl to tell me that far in advance that we're about to go do something.
See, that's my problem. I try to date normal ass girls who think it's normal to say, like, Saturday we're going to this movie and I bought tickets,
Yeah.
and I'm just like,
Really?
I don't know what the fuck is happening Saturday, like,
You're like, how are you gonna just plan my Saturday for me
Yeah.
already? Like,
and it makes so much sense to them.
yeah. I mean, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
I get it from their perspective.
I get it.
Yeah,
But I also don't. I just don't operate that way.
yeah, totally. Yeah, same thing here. All right, so I'm trying to like really discern like what was going on at this moment when your shit really started to catch on. So what was the moment that you decided like, man, I don't need to work at this taco truck anymore?
First of all, it wasn't tacos.
Oh yeah.
He didn't say that. He said food truck. You're right.
Yeah. Oh, barbecue. Barbecue.
Barbecue truck.
Barbecue truck. I remember. I'm only getting paid. I was only getting paid like $8 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So I only made so much a month. Like it was like very minimal. One day, somebody asked me for a feature. I was like, all right, word, give me this much. And I think it was like $700. It was like $700 for like I was like $700 for a feature. Hit me up. I was like probably after Nokia, after I released Nokia, and somebody actually was like, all right, and I was like, word.
Had you been selling features for $50 or $100 before that?
I've never been selling features.
Oh, okay.
Until like somebody that was that moment. The first person that hit me up, and I was like, all right, I'll do it for $7. And it was like, all right, and I was like, word. So it's just that easy
Yeah.
at this point. And I think I did a I did a death drop to the floor. I was like, I ran across the whole. We lived in the barrio. It was like a big ass neighborhood, not neighborhood, but apartment complex.
Right.
So I ran from my building over to where Archie was staying on the other side of the complex, where everybody was at chilling, and I was just like, bruh, oh my god, and I just dropped to the floor. And I was like, somebody just paid me $700 for a feature, bruh.
It's not even
Like,
dollars. It's like I just got paid 100 hours worth of working at the food truck
Right.
for me to rap on a
exactly.
beat.
And
for
I
a
was
minute.
like, I'm not going to work today. I'm good. I'm not going to work for the rest of the month. I already got rent because my rent was only like $650.
Yeah.
I was like, I got rent now, so I'm not even about to I'm not going back for the rest of the month. I'm about to just do this shit, and then hopefully somebody else hits me up soon. And sure enough, people just starts rolling in.
It just started working out.
Yeah, it just started working out, and then I started getting more shows. Then I started paying for things. Then eventually, the music had been out long enough to where, because like as soon as I started releasing music, I was putting it out for sale through online distribution companies.
Mm-hmm.
So it only took like 3 months for those first checks to start rolling in.
But didn't you fuck that up at some point? Because I kind of remember a tweet where you said that you blew it by not having like wrists properly for sale on
Yeah.
Spotify or iTunes or whatever at first. This is me trying to remember a tweet from years ago.
I'm trying to remember. I thought because I always could have sworn because I used a different company than I used for the rest of my music
Okay.
when I did Risk. So Risk goes like to one place, and all my other music goes to a certain other place.
Right.
So I'm not sure if I did it right when I did it right when it happened. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how far removed is like you quitting your job and wrist?
Risk happened during that summer, so that was it post Risk I got that feature then? Couldn't be. Man, it was
Because wrist had to
like-
have taken off right away, right?
Yeah, it went up right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then after it went up even more because I let McConan take it for his first drop with OVO,
Right.
and that helped propel that even further.
Right.
So, but I guess it was probably within like a couple months or
Right.
a month. It might have been within a month.
So it just totally took off. And so like how do people start treating you differently at this point? Is everybody in like the art scene sort of just recognizing like, oh, you're
Yeah,
taking off?
that's
Like
basically
how
what
do they
happened.
react to you in that
It's
situation?
more like, oh man, it's the same. Oh, you're doing it. Oh shit, you how? Where? Why? You're the motherfucker that used to walk around with the looking like the paper boy, with a camera and some shorts,
Right.
and a hat. Like, where the fuck? How did you? How? Why? All your friends?
No.
No. Y'all the weird ones. Y'all the ones that weren't supposed to go in. Like,
That's got to be such a nightmare for the guys who are like
Yeah.
buying Versace shirts and chains and shit.
But like everybody started.
my fourth
Everybody was
album.
it got real cool. Everybody just got real cool, and then
Right.
people started coming over, and that's when that whole like thing started to bubble, and it became like the indie Atlanta scene became like a thing,
Right.
rather than just being like the trap Atlanta scene, like pure trap.
So did you feel like there was much going on with the indie Atlanta scene at that point, or you feel like that was like
Nah,
not
there's-
that you want to give
there's
yourself
never-
credit, but when it sort of really became its own thing?
Nah, it was always happening.
Right.
But sometimes it always got capped off at a certain point,
Right.
and it never broke through that barrier. But I would never take advantage, like not take advantage, but take the responsibility for that.
Right.
Saying that I did that.
When you were making Risk, did anything about it occur to you that like, oh, this is going to be a really important big song?
I was like, the beat was when I made the beat, I was like, oh, this gonna go. And then I laid my intro, and I was like, yep, this is about to go up. What can I do? Because at that point, I was like, I don't want to rap no more on this. I already made the beat. I rapped a little bit, like, and Makona had just done Nokia like maybe a month prior. And I was like, oh man, hop on this too. This is fire. He came over. Key came over first.
Right.
They came on the same day. I just happened to come over the same day because he was always recording with Dexter, who was right across the hall.
Right.
And he came in and was like, oh, what's this? Oh, I'm rapping on this. And I was like, all right, cool. So it's the three of us. And that shit at that point, I was like, oh, it's a goer. Like,
Did it occur to you like when you were writing the hook that like, oh, I'm really doing this right now. Like this
Yeah.
this hook is going to be it.
I don't know I really don't remember that far back.
Right.
Honestly, I don't know why I was like, yeah, this is going to fucking work. I have no idea.
Something about
honestly.
I never had to cook a brick, but I get the gist. Just like has always
Yeah.
stood out to me as this like moment of just brilliance. Where if I had never
Yeah.
thought about you once at that point in my life, I would have heard that lyric and been like, oh, that's it.
No,
This guy's a
yeah.
good ass writer.
You get it.
yeah. That's like it
Yeah.
sums up your whole personality or your whole character. Right?
Yeah. Basically, it's like I didn't have to do this shit, but I can do this shit.
Right.
Just look at it.
Like I'm not.
I could do it.
I'm not
like-
that heavy of a street dude, but
Yeah.
I get it, and I could do that if I wanted to. But I'm doing
Yeah.
something else.
I'm gonna be cool. Just be whatever the fuck I am.
Right.
You know.
Do you remember Risk coming out and like what your perspective was on it?
Yeah, absolutely. Someone showed it to me in the Vice office.
Of course they did.
I don't know. It was like probably a couple of days after it came out. And I don't know. It's crazy that like it took 2 bars.
Right.
2 bars. Like when he performs the song, it's like
It's over with.
he can cut it off after the first hook.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's a beautiful thing.
Then it just goes.
And
it's
then
like,
you
oh,
leverage that into a whole rap career.
Right. Were you tempted to like go and do the like big time feature thing on it and like get a bunch of fucking huge dudes on it and shit?
Probably at the first time, I might have thought about like, oh, that'd be a kind of a good idea. But immediately I saw how well it was doing, and I was like, nah, fuck that. It sounds good as is. Why even like try to like split the bill with it? There is a remix though that did come out
Right.
with Cool Kids.
Oh, cool kid.
Yeah,
Okay, that's a good
Yeah,
one.
that's because they just asked to be on it, and I was like, oh fuck yeah, like what, like.
But you could have gone and got the 2 Chainz feature.
Yeah, like
it would have been a different look.
At that point in time, I could have really went and did and like, but I was just like, nah, I didn't really want to even remix it in the first place. And then when somebody asked, I was like, y'all are cool with me.
Right.
Like I used to rock with y'all way back when.
Right.
Like
we just
this
did
is
Chuck
perfect.
English a couple of days
Yeah.
ago. Fire.
Yeah.
Such a cool guy.
Exactly. I was just like, fuck yeah. Like when I was like, yeah, Chuck, you got it. Here, go ahead.
And he
rock
has a
on it.
photographic memory, and he remembers
Really?
like insane shit. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, that's like
wild.
that explains like why he's so smart and like
Yeah.
sort of gets the culture so well. Like
Yeah.
he was listing off mad shit that nobody would remember, that I barely remember.
Yeah.
All kinds of crazy shit. Like I don't know. But so was that the point where all of a sudden you start getting all this weird corporate interest? Because when I listen to this other interview with you, you're sort of it's obvious that you're in that moment where you sort of had all these labels talking to you and
Yeah.
bothering you and shit.
Yeah, it was around that time, and I was for it, but the discussion, I was like, I don't want to be another, like, okay, I signed. Now we make another album 2 years later, after I've been dropping like 1 or 2 singles in the past year. Well, I don't know, y'all sat me for my worth, or made me sit here and shell me until I come up with another wrist.
Right.
What a lot of people kept telling me at the time was like, hey, like I would go into meetings and they wouldn't care about what else I could do. They would just be like, so this wrist record,
Right.
like, what can we do with that? What can we do with this? Like, where can we take this record to next? I'm just like, it's already going. Like, it's going, bro. It's slick gone. Y'all late. It's been out for a minute.
Yeah.
And eventually, that's why I gave it away to McConan for that EP, because I was like, I want to do something bigger with it, but I don't want to just be like, I want to sign some deal for like $50K and then give y'all this record. That's the only thing y'all gonna care about until
then-
I make another one that sounds just like it.
And they're gonna have control over your output and everything.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then you pretty much got to see how that situation can unfold negatively with McConan, right? Because he basically had a bad
And
interaction.
just didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't. I feel like he did not enjoy that experience.
Because he comes from like an internet mentality too, where he wants to
Yeah.
put some shit out every month, every couple weeks,
Yeah.
whatever. And
I mean, it's important to pull back at a certain point, because
Right.
you don't want to oversaturate yourself. There's like, but you want to make that decision for yourself.
Exactly,
You don't
yeah.
want somebody to really straight up tell you. You want somebody to inform you, like, yeah, you shouldn't do that. But they be like, no, you can't do that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You're not allowed to.
And if you were a simp, if you were just some random ass kid that needed total guidance, but like
Yeah.
you have always had like a vision for how your shit was going to proceed, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, to put somebody like that in a fucking position like that where they're
Yeah.
going to be held back, is like, how could you be happy like that?
Yeah, at least, especially not that soon. Like,
Yeah.
I had just gotten popularity. I wanted to think about it for a bit.
Right.
Or like work on what my shit is, so I have that established already. And when they come back again to the table, it's like, all right, so this is how it's been working out without anybody for the past blah 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 so many years. I haven't signed to anybody, but I'm probably popular than a lot of other artists that you've signed
Right.
to your label. So now I have a little bit more leverage to do shit like okay, no, you can't have all of this, like all the rights to this, all the rights to that. So I feel like they're more likely to work with me
Right.
at this point.
Now that you're kind of removed from that initial like hysteria,
Yeah.
though, do you kind of look at it and you're like, are you completely happy with like where your career is at now, or like what needs to change from your perspective if you want to keep advancing?
At this point, I put out 3 albums in 3 years, and I don't want to for a while again.
Really?
Yeah, I just want, because I spent a lot of time before just honing. Like I didn't drop 10 songs before. It was like I dropped like 3 songs, single.
And that's the way
here
to
and
go for
there.
like an underground rapper,
Yeah,
right?
And like 6 here, and it's like, then here's an album, like but I do want to spend more time now, especially now that my life is more hectic. I think it's more important that I spend time on things.
What's
rather
more
than
hectic now, though? Just dealing with all these artists and everything?
Dealing with other people's shit is one. Dealing with me traveling, like suddenly I might have to go do something, and then I'm out for 2 weeks
Right.
all of a sudden, and then I get back home, I'm tired. It's a bunch of shit.
Yeah. I feel you on that. Seeing that like massive success of Risk, though, does that kind of like change your creative process at all, or do you feel like you make music significantly differently now that you're in a different position, having seen what like one really big hit can do?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, I did all the album shit to have back catalog. 'Cause that's important to me. Like, I love when I find out about a new artist and there's actually shit there to go back and check. Like, it's not. I don't think it's really that interesting when you find somebody and it's like, oh my god, they're so fire. Then they're big as hell already. Now they're big as hell already, and then you go back and there's like 3 other songs.
Right.
Like, and some collaborations with other people.
And that's the weird shit with labels too, is that if you have like a big hit, then they kind of want you to like delete your back catalog now,
Delete
right?
the fuck out your back.
That's
catalog.
crazy.
Yeah, they don't even want to. Like, some of them will take it and be like, oh, we'll take it, and if it's selling, then it's cool, it can be up. But most of the time, it's like, yo, you got too much out.
Yeah.
You know.
They want you to clear out the SoundCloud.
Yeah.
That's what they did to Designer.
Yeah. Oh, really? How much did he have before on there?
He had like one mixtape that Panda was on, and then that mixtape has sort of
Okay.
disappeared from the internet.
Got you.
But I mean, I like the way they're doing it, honestly, with like the second song rollout is like this big 3-month ordeal. Like,
Yeah.
it was in his double XL freestyle and all this shit.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they're
No, that
slowly
was
building up to it.
that was a very smart.
I
way to
wonder.
roll it out.
I wonder about that if like they didn't even know, but when he did that freestyle and then it blew up, they were like, "Oh, actually, we have to turn this into something."
Yeah.
Well,
Or was it already that?
The Kanye album came out and the shit was still on his SoundCloud, but then it all disappeared soon after. So I thought that was
no.
really
I mean the
interesting.
double XL shit.
The freestyle.
Oh, I don't know. I saw it from him as like kind of, let's get heat for the song by doing this weird ass chorus as the double XL freestyle. But that's just how I assumed
And
it
then
was.
I doubt it was that calculated. I bet it was like everyone was like, "Oh, this is actually crazy. Like, we love this." And then it went viral, and they were like, "We have to," because you can tell how the song actually came out.
Right.
It was like,
Yeah.
"All right, we have to get this. We have to put a beat on this. We have to put verses on this."
Yeah.
But really, we're just capitalizing on that virality of the double XL freestyle. That's my guess.
Yeah, could be. Designer should have been on Apple Records. Imagine how that would have played out. He's just trying to imagine it.
I was trying to think like,
You would have had to been to Atlanta once.
Hey, so you disagree with the assumption that he has broads in Atlanta?
didn't he say he
He
hadn't
said
been?
that it was a lie, right?
He said he said he has not been.
He said he was friends with someone on Facebook that's in Atlanta.
Oh,
I think I am,
And he
too.
said that in an interview.
I think so.
If you're friends on Facebook with one girl from Atlanta,
It's
you
like,
can
I got
base your
broads in
biggest
it.
song on it.
Yo, you really could say that at that point. You're not lying.
Yeah. Especially if you do the fly out.
Yeah.
Fly them out to New York or whatever, and then you never have to actually go to Atlanta.
Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, she lives there, but she up here with me.
You ever
I
do
ain't
the
doing
fly
that.
out?
Nah.
No, never.
Nah, man. That sounds dangerous. You gotta.
That's a huge commitment.
That's a huge commitment.
Yeah.
I've heard some like horror stories about that. I would never.
I used to do it when I was a younger man, but
Yeah.
nowadays I don't know.
Yeah.
Can we talk about well, this is one that I've written down. I want to talk about religion, because I've noticed
Okay.
that you've had a lot of negative things to say about religion. Not necessarily negative, but you just
Yeah.
don't seem to ascribe to anything in particular. Is there a storyline behind that, or when you realized that you weren't a fan?
Oh, I mean, I was young as hell. Like automatically, I don't know. Maybe I just was the devil or something. But even as a kid, I'm just like, yo, in church. I was never like on this like in the sliver in the middle. It was like, oh, maybe I do. Like, I was always completely to the left. Like, nah, bro, y'all in here tripping. Like, why am I eating this nasty ass cracker and this shitty ass like fucking juice that y'all telling me is wine? Like, I don't want this. Then Sunday school, like, oh, I gotta stay here after church and hang out with these other little kids and they crazy ass parents.
And so it never did anything for you that your parents believed in it either?
Nah,
It didn't do
nah.
anything for
my
me
mom.
either.
My mom's didn't go.
Right.
Like, she probably did up until a certain point, and she got older. Like I had to go when I was really little, but at a certain point she stopped going. With like, it wasn't a family thing anymore. Like it was like,
Right.
it used to be a family thing when I was little.
But then you were still expected to go?
When I was around certain people, like
Right.
certain members of our family still were very church heavy. I'm from Mississippi, so it's like people were really still very religious as
Right.
hell. And I would have to go with, if I'm like, oh, I'm staying over at Auntie Tammy place. Like I'm gonna have to go to church with them on Sunday if I'm there. Like I gotta go. I can't stay at the crib. Like I'm 12 years old. Like I'm not a Christian. I don't want to go to church. Like
You couldn't like verbalize that?
I couldn't verbalize some shit like that. But all right, okay. I don't want y'all to think I'm like some weird crazy ass kid. But in my head, I'm just like, fuck this, fuck this, fuck
Right,
this.
yeah, me too. It
Sitting
just
in
always
like-
was so obvious to me that I
Yeah.
wanted nothing to do with this.
Yeah, with like the Jesus coloring books and shit. Like I'd be like, what am I learning right now?
Right.
What are y'all doing? Why do I keep getting this man this money? Like this church is big as fuck. Damn, it's like a venue. Y'all going crazy in here. Why y'all?
Wait, was it a mega church? I always hear about those down
I've been
south.
to a mega church. I've been to one. I've been
Really?
to one mega church. And I was like, oh, it's lit. It's like
Yeah.
a club.
Yeah,
It's fine.
Like the biggest shit ever. It's like a football stadium, some shit.
Yeah, I was at my great every time I go to a church, some dumb shit happens. Like I was at my great grandpa funeral, and the preacher like was like, he's going off about his life, but he was like slick. No, it wasn't him. It was his dad. So my great grandpa.
Uh-huh.
No, or his son. Oh damn, that was like grandpa. So my great grandpa's son. It was his funeral. All right. So the guy getting up there just started talking shit. Like on the side, like, Mr. Mr. Johnson, he was, can't talk nothing about his life. He was, alcoholic, but it's all good. We love him. He's in a better place. And I'm like, yo, bro, what are you talking about? This nigga's dead. Like, why are you telling everybody like his business? Like, oh man, he was doing all this. He was tripping. We don't know. We support him. Blah blah blah. This, that. I'm like, y'all are bugging. Talking about iPhones and shit. Like bringing that into like the whole prayer and shit. Like talking like, oh, these iPhones. And I'm like, what?
That's crazy.
I'm like, what is this weird? Like this is some cult shit. Like not the fuck I'm doing. Not me and my friends dressed in all black all goddamn winter.
Am I correct in like stereotyping this dude as like having mad gold on and shit, and like a really fancy
I'm pretty sure he
suit?
had a very nice chain. He had a very nice chain, good suit. Probably drove something real nice outside.
But that wasn't the kind of church you grew up going to.
Nah, I went
Okay.
to like little small like white hole in the wall type churches.
Was there any point where you were like started reading shit about religion and started to like expand your view on it?
Nah, I just read like I was younger and I like shit that is more so considered fantasy.
Right.
So I just went into like Greek myth, Roman
okay.
mythology and stuff. That was really what interests me.
Learning about all of the world's religions so you could realize that the one that you'd been taught was kind of silly.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yo, because like I'm just like the one y'all are telling me is a fantasy, and the one I'm clearly looking at is like, yo, this is a fantasy. Y'all don't believe it. I'm like, y'all, they share the exact same ideals, dates on stuff, and I'm just like, can you believe that this is the one word?
Right.
And I was like, I was a skeptic the entire time.
Right.
I was always like, I guess I don't know, I was born that way. I guess.
Do you ever feel like you kind of get shit in the, because I know hip hop traditionally has had this like Christian bent to it. Do you feel like you've ever gotten shit for saying things are anti-religious?
Fuck
or
no,
no, it
It's
don't really
not
happen
happening
anymore,
at all.
right?
I guess I'm not big enough.
Maybe if you got that 2 Chainz verse.
Yeah, if I had that 2 Chainz verse back then, they'd be like, "What is this man talking about?" I mean, I did like I said some foul shit in Risk, like, but it's a very popular song.
Right.
Everybody in the club getting shot is a very vulgar song.
Right.
But nobody's ever been like.
But nobody gives you shit for
Nobody gives me
those
shit for
things,
any
right?
of that.
I remember you mentioning everybody in the club getting shot after the Orlando shooting, though.
Yeah, and I
But that was
like,
more hypothetical, right? Like nobody
Yeah.
actually gave you shit for it.
Nobody really gave me shit for it. They were just like, "Oh my god, you're Miss Cleo, R.I.P."
But why would they give you shit? Because I notice this about rap all the time too, is that the dudes who say the worst shit don't get shit either. Like,
Nah.
if you're like a hip hop journalist, you can get called out so hard for being slightly problematic, but like 21 Savage can literally say anything and will never
Yeah.
get called out for it. It's just,
Exactly.
I think about why the reason might be sometimes, but I don't know. It's because like nobody like wants to.
Check you.
Yeah, I don't know. They don't want to look at somebody who's like coming from the struggle and be like, you're fucked up. But they're very willing to look at somebody that's kind of like upper class,
And be
looking
like,
like
"Yo, you're fucked
Ivy
up."
League, and be like, you said one thing that's slightly weird, so I'm gonna call you out real quick.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna call you out for this tweet that I'm about to read that you wrote. Just kidding.
I think it has to do with who people see as their peers. People can criticize people in their own groups, I guess. Or if you're in an industry, you can be like, "Oh, like you said some crazy shit," or whatever.
But the criticism, I think, comes from outside hip hop too, because like it took the feminist community to point out that Rick Ross had said a line that sort of alluded to date rape,
Yeah.
and that didn't come from rappers or rap journalists, from what I could tell.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's much bigger. For like somebody else to come through with their pitchforks and fucking torches, you got to be a lot bigger. And like, you know, you're representing like fucking Reebok,
Yeah.
Nike, Sprite. There's
And he
like,
said
yo,
Reebok in like the next line. It made it kind
Yeah.
of perfect for them to just shoot
You're
at
like,
him.
yo, like nah, like when you get to that point, you really got to pull back. Yeah, clean up your image. Like that's real. If you want to be there, clean up your image.
But have you ever had to be considered cleaning up your image at all?
Yeah.
Like what stuff?
Not what I say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because I've always said real fucked up shit, very like slip right up under the radar. Like that was kind of fucked up what I just said, but yeah, you're gonna let me say it because like, look at this smile.
Yeah, and I got glasses and I got this
I got
cute
glasses.
hair. I know you ain't gonna come for me.
You don't say anything to me. I'm okay.
Yeah. But this is my question: is I asked him like how do the people regard Father in Atlanta, and he said yeah, I don't know, they don't really seem like they fuck with him that much, or like he can walk around and people aren't bothering him like that. What's it like from your perspective? Like grade your level of fame in Atlanta.
In Atlanta, on a scale of what, 1 to
1 to obnoxious as fuck. Like 1 to I can't go to Walmart.
oh, I get pet peeved if one person walks up to me. So,
Really?
Yeah. I mean, half the time I'm good though. I can walk around Atlanta, nobody's gonna bother me.
What-
It depends where he's at.
It depends on where I go. Like,
Well, yeah.
If he's
'cause-
walking down like Edgewood,
Yeah.
people will scream wrist at him
Right.
until
Wrist!
he melts. You know.
Yeah.
And wait, so does that kind of bug you? But then like the actual real fans doesn't bother you as much, or what?
I would rather you just shout some shit and keep it moving than like run up to me while I'm literally stuffing my face with something.
Right.
And then be the one guy, because you're gonna be like the one guy, maybe two, because like I'm not that crazy big where somebody is like feels overwhelmed to run up to me all the damn time.
Right.
I've been like stalked to the mall once or twice, but it's never like, oh my god, I can't walk into this place and because somebody's gonna fucking pounce on me.
Right.
I know where if I go to Urban Outfitters,
Right.
somebody in there knows who I am.
Right.
Somebody does. Probably the person working there or somebody like that.
I got
Happened
recognized
today.
by the manager at a Journeys the other day.
Happened today at American Apparel.
Oh, it did. It happened at American Apparel.
You
Like,
got recognized there.
it was like a
That really
whole
surprised
group of
me.
like, it was like 6 Indian kids like walked in, like, and then they didn't look at nothing. They stood in a huddle, and then one of them was like, "Hey, Father," and I'm like, "Hey," and they walked out, but 2 of them came back. And was like, "Can we take pictures of you?" I'm like, "Y'all should just ask me when I was like the first time,"
Right.
Because I was already weirded out that it was like a group of 6 dudes just standing in the American Apparel in a huddle,
Right.
but not looking at a damn thing.
And they don't realize that you're thinking, well, I mean, I guess it's like 6 Indian dudes. Maybe you're not really scared, but if it's a bunch of other dudes, you might be thinking like, yo, are they going to jump me? This dude is looking at me at the corner of his eye in the bar, weirds me out, you know?
Yeah, no, it's never been that scary.
I guess they don't come at you on that shit
Yeah.
anyway. You don't put yourself out like that as much.
Because you can tell some people are just like, oh, you're being timid right now. You're not being like, like, you're not stalky. You're just
Right.
being timid and don't know how to approach this person that you recognize.
Right.
Which
But-
I understand.
So how do you walk that line though? Because I feel like there's a big pressure on celebrities or whatever, especially now, to be really nice and really relatable to their fans.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's like maybe you're just not that kind of guy. You're kind of
Yeah.
antisocial. You don't like having to talk to people all the time.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. What's the start of the question?
Basically, just like how do you walk that fine line between like being nice to the fans and being
yeah.
yourself?
I'm just generally just nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of just do it. I can't be that mean. Like, I'm a dickhead. I'm an asshole, but I just can't be that mean to somebody I don't know. It's weird.
Who are you an asshole to?
My friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly my friends.
True.
Yeah.
Or
I've avoided a lot of it,
but okay, what could
and I've witnessed a lot.
what
Of
could drive you to be an asshole? Because I seen you flipping out on your roommates or whatever at the Awful House on Twitter,
it's
saying
just-
that they disrespect the house. Because I relate to you so much on that.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
like shit like that. Like repeated offense of the same thing. I'm just like,
he
bruh,
bubbles like
I bubble.
things. He'll let everything. He'll
Slide.
let people destroy his house for like 3 months, and then
Bitch.
just like, and he'll be casual the whole time, and then he'll like come down and just break a door and tell everyone to leave his life.
Right. But don't you have your own spot now, separate from the house?
Yeah, I'm in the middle of moving. This is like my last month at the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. What's because I living with a house full of BMX dudes and shit, and sometimes I'll come home and like the back door will be unlocked and the fucking the
yeah.
AC's blasting, the windows are all open.
Yo, bro.
And I'll just be like,
bro,
oh.
I don't be getting that shit. I be walking through the house like, why the windows open, the air cold. I like it cold as fuck too, and people be like fucking with it. I'm like, leave it at like 70.
Yeah.
I come downstairs, it's either off or at like 76.
Yeah.
I'm just like, bro, why? It's a thermostat. It's a dad thing, man. It's a dad thing. I can sense when it's not the same. I'm like, bruh, why is it? It's one temperature different. I can tell.
Right.
Like,
Wait, do they call you father because you have a dad vibe?
fat.
Fat was
Fat.
the origin of it.
Oh no, father. Oh no, that was just. I wanted to make a group, not a group, but make it be a solo artist that sounded like a band. So the full name was Father's Liquor Cabinet because I was an alcoholic and still yeah.
You still consider yourself an alcoholic?
Yeah, I still drink a lot. Drink too much.
Are you off the Xan still, or is that kind of over?
I'm done. Yeah, I stopped. I stopped like January. I stopped in January. I did like in between January and now. I did one, and I was like, "Yo, bad idea," because I just woke up. I just blackout. Woke up in the hotel room on tour, just like, how did I get in this hotel room? What did I do last night? I don't know.
But were you bad for a while? Like multiples per day and shit?
Yeah.
I used to be worried about you from reading Twitter. I didn't even
Yeah.
know you, and I was like, man, this could
Yeah,
go bad.
yeah, it was real bad. It was hella bad. Yeah, it was pretty terrible. Yeah, it got real terrible. I don't know. I just don't have I have no stopping. Once I get into a groove, I just want to keep going until it's gone type
Right.
thing. I guess it's like having an addictive personality, especially if it's something I like. Like, I don't get addicted to things that's like, oh, this is a drug, but I'm just like, don't really like it that much. I'll do it because it's here.
Right.
But I'm not really gonna, like, it's not my thing. My thing was opiates and Xanax. I
Yeah.
loved that. But then it started to, like, fuck up so much other stuff. I was like, yo, I kind of got to pull myself out of this real quick. And then I never really, did it very well, pull myself out myself. But I think I bought, what happened was I bought some fake shit in New York, Scammer Central.
Right.
And
Shout out to
because of
Designer.
that-
You probably bought it from Designer.
His homie. It was I bought a bunch of fake shit, and I had to withdraw for like 2 weeks, or like not 2 weeks, but like I was
Just 'cause
going
there was
through
some crazy shit
It was
in
like
it?
I was like nah, it wasn't that bad. Like nothing was happening. I felt that nothing was happening, but I had to travel to LA. I'll try to travel to San Francisco, travel to LA, and in between that time, the withdrawal had set in. And I'm like, yo, I'm taking these things. Why am I starting to feel like
right,
shit?
okay.
So I realized that they were all fake. Flushed them shits, because I'm not about to sell nobody no fake shit. I don't sell drugs. So
We're different types of guys then.
yeah, exactly. I actually like I flush like when I have hella drugs. I'm just like I can't be doing this. I flush them. I don't give them to anybody else. I don't really. I'm not a peddler. I guess. I don't know.
That's good. That's a pain in the ass anyway.
Yeah. So I basically went through a forced withdrawal because I couldn't cop anything. Then I came to L.A. right after San Francisco. After I've been in bed in San Francisco, like sweating, like oh my god, what the fuck? I have diarrhea. You know, train spotting. You know, fucking. I'm in L.A. for like a week, and at that time, I'm like, I could totally just go hit up somebody. Okay. But then, like, I think Keith Charles was like, Brad, just chill. It's so easy. Just chill. Just, you know, whatever. And I was like, all right, cool. I mean, you know, you're right. You're right, Keith Charles. I'm gonna chill out for a second and see how I feel. Sure enough, start to get clear-headed as fuck. Still kind of going through like, I'm angry as fuck for a minute. Like I was angry as hell for a minute. When I went back home, like, oh man, what the fuck? When did this happen? Like, who are you? Like I was freaking out for a second. Like
Is it that bad?
Yeah, I was just bugging. Like, wow, you say I've known you for like this whole year. Like I've met you several times. And I was like, how is that possible?
Whoa.
So I was like, all right, okay, I should chill. And I had chilled for a very long time until like on tour I took that one, kind of flipped out, and I was like, okay, never mind, it's a bad idea for me.
Yeah.
And then I've just stopped since then.
Damn, that's good though, because I feel like there's so many kids out there. Like I will go to shows where like it happens to be like an artist I've interviewed, so everybody knows me or whatever. And I was talking to like a 15-year-old kid,
Yeah.
all red in the face and shit. I talked to him for like 20 seconds, and I'm like, wait, what the fuck are you on right now? And he's just gone off of multiple bars. He's 15, and I just like I haven't been like addicted to it, but it's definitely like I kind of feel the same way you are. I'm starting to feel we have like a similar personality type, because when I first did Xans, I was like, this is it. This is the drug. Like this is the best drug that they ever invented on earth.
Yeah.
It fixes what's wrong with me in my head, but also makes me go to sleep for a really long time, quite often. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky that I always had so much shit going on that I never really got to get super fucked into
Yeah.
it. You know.
Yeah.
As a rapper, it's kind of easier because it's like you get to
Yeah, it's very
just
accessible.
hang out and be creative and stuff.
Exactly.
You know.
It's so just like, oh yeah, oh this is the guy. All right, oh what's up? You're the guy.
Yeah.
Yep, give me that.
It's weird, like the having it around you element too, though,
Yeah.
because it's like if you have somebody who will just hand it over whenever you want, or if you have 20 of them in your room.
We're in that lifestyle, so it's like when you're just in that culture, it's kind of it's difficult to be like, yo, no, nah. You know, but once you overcome that, like that ability, once you get that ability, it's like, nah, I'm actually very good.
Right.
Then you be straight, like you be hella straight. Like that's how I quit cigarettes back when I was smoking.
Wait, when
I
did you
just-
quit cigarettes?
I was still in when I worked at the hospital.
Oh,
that shit
okay.
was kind of stressful. So I was like, I'd go on break and just drink a Coke and smoke a cigarette, go back inside, work for another 4 hours. You know, that was just during. I was in college and
It was just like a break from
Yeah.
what you were doing anyway, right?
yeah, I was in college and going to work. So I'm just like, I need to smoke a cigarette.
Right.
Walk, do this, smoke a cigarette, take a shit, smoke a cigarette. Doing what cigarette smokers do, and then all of a sudden, I don't really understand how that shit happened though. I just stopped.
Right.
I don't know. I guess some things happen like that. You just be like, I'm tired of this. I don't want it anymore.
But you were never much of a weed head, really?
Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, I do smoke still. Like, I still buy it, but it's mostly to sleep,
Yeah.
or else I get hella paranoid.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Hella weird.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about like the everybody in the club getting shot video. It's like you got all these girls doing crazy shit, sucking guns, pink plastic guns. You're on the rooftop with like 20 chicks. Like, I'm just curious about the aesthetic that you brought to that video and the aesthetic in general. Like, do you feel like when you do a video like that where everybody's wearing all pink and stuff, are you trying to kind of challenge like rap music norms, or like where did the inspiration for that kind of vibe come from?
A lot of that video was puke.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
that
Yeah.
one was a lot of pretty puke, but that was shit I was already like. That was what I liked to wear anyway. It just
Right.
fit into what I was like. Nah, it's perfect. Like I like pink. Like I'm gonna get a rose. Like I'm gonna pick the rose gold iPhone. That's what I'm like. You know, I'm gonna choose that over the black, the silver, whatever at all times. So it all just fell hand in hand. And he was always on that kind of.
How'd you meet him? I've been trying to get him to do an interview.
How the fuck? What was the first time?
We're talking about Pretty Puke right now, just for the record. Anybody wants to Google it?
Yeah. When was the first time? Do you remember? Did you meet him when I did? Oh, we came here. It was me, Archie, and Abra.
Yes.
And I don't remember how me and Puke got into contact, but he came to hang out with us. And he wore a mask. Actually, I remember that day. He wore like a mask to the to Ham.
You're talking about his birthday party, yeah? Because I was gonna say when I met him, he had a mask on too. It was the same thing. Because you headlined that, right?
No, it was not.
Oh, no, you did a
it wasn't the
different
same
Ham,
night.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
not the same. It was a different Ham. It was like one of those random Hams. We decided to like, oh, let's go do something, and we were there for a quick second, and that was like the first time I met him. And then after that, I think I came back, and then we got acquainted again, and then the video thing happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I love that video, and I love the moment where the girl sucks the gun. I don't know
Yeah,
why,
it's the
but
best part.
it's
That was the best part.
it just looks so good. Yeah, and it wouldn't have been half as good if it was a real gun, if it wasn't a pink gun.
Yeah, no, exactly. The whole thing aligns. Like, there's certain shit you just don't go in that direction if you're already on this side.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, I saw a tweet one time that said, and I do not agree with this conclusion necessarily, but
Oh,
that it
Lord.
just said that awful media is an example of how the critics being on the side of a musician or of a movement can like inflate its public image to make it seem as if it's bigger than it really is. And I thought that was really interesting because I could see how awful is like really critic friendly. Like the critics just immediately are like, yes, that's.
Did a critic say that?
I think almost certainly, yeah. Because who the fuck else would say that? But I just was wondering, like, if you had any kind of take on that, because I thought, even though obviously it's like negative towards you guys or whatever, I thought it was an interesting way of thinking about,
Yeah.
rappers in general. Would you ever say that you've identified that?
It's very true. Like if you haven't, if you have a big online following, that's one thing. But if you haven't actually met people in person,
Right.
and actually really did that spreading your word type thing, like you're on your soapbox. Basically, we're just like old politicians running around on our soapboxes, our stages, saying a bunch of shit over a beat. And if you're really not getting that experience in person, then I don't know, it's not the same.
Right. But it becomes a totally different thing when you have like writers writing about you all the time and
Yeah.
like praising your shit. Because like I have friends
That's
who,
those writers though.
Yeah, I have friends who can sell out like 1,000, 2,000 person venues in LA, but the critics don't ever mention them, and
Yeah.
that keeps them in a certain box where they might have a big
Yeah,
fan base, but
exactly.
they're never going to get that blog love or that noisy love, etc.
Very true.
I don't think that is what influences Awful's fan base. Awful's fan base is like teenagers
Right.
who don't care about Pitchfork or whatever. You know?
Right.
If you go to one of these shows, you'll see that immediately.
Right.
You know, so I wonder what kind of evidence whoever said that is.
Yeah, and it was probably a pretty like off the cuff tweet, but I was just thinking about how that kind of is an effect that does happen where like do you feel like you guys sort of like who first started to recognize you like critically, and were you always interested in like music criticism?
Initially, yeah, of course. Huh? Fader, yeah, Fader was the first one to show love.
Right.
Because they came through via Maconin. They actually came to my apartment at the time and chilled with us. They were mostly there to shoot Maconin, but he came over to our spot and they was like, "Yo, who the fuck are y'all?
Right.
Like y'all the ones y'all all hang out like this. This is cool as fuck. We definitely gonna talk about y'all too." And that helped propel it.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they were the
dope.
first ones.
For a while, I felt like you were sort of painting this picture of yourself musically as being a ladies' man of sorts, but now you have kind of a very like public, cute relationship being expressed on the internet. Can you walk us through how this came to be?
It's always existed.
Oh, okay. So this
basically.
has always been going on.
Yeah, it's always been a thing. I guess at the time, like the ladies' man thing, I don't really know. It just became. It was a thing. Like people always was like, "Oh man, you're cute," but
you can't really
always, like-
rap without rapping about girls, right?
Exactly. You
Yeah.
can't. You rap about girls. That's mostly what I talk about. Period. Anyway, and I always got that like, "Oh, you're cute, but you're a dork." Like having I'm still that, but it works now because there's another element to me. It's like, oh, you're a rapper and you own a label. You're a dork still.
So you're trying to tell me it didn't work before the rapperdom? Because I could just,
Yeah, no, it
I
still
would
worked.
imagine you always being
Yeah, it's
good with
still
girls.
Of course, yeah. No, I was throwing parties and shit, and I had a good job.
And drugs. Yeah.
Like it was still good, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't like, oh hey, oh I wanna fuck you. Like I'm like, all right, bruh. Before I was like, okay, I'm gonna actually talk and have good conversation. Like, and then I don't really fuck with the like, oh my god, and let me jump in. Like that's annoying as fuck.
Were you indulging in the groupie shit beforehand? Early on?
A bit,
A little bit.
yeah. I didn't go crazy though, like most people do, but I don't know. Really quickly, you realize it's like a really empty way to live.
Right.
You're just like, huh? Played the fifth? Fifth.
Rich is telling him he should be plead the fifth.
She played the fifth.
He's
But
just
no.
being vague. That's like a version of pleading the fifth.
Yeah.
No, Vegas is a yes.
Vague is a yes, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be like, nah, man, I never, fuck no.
But how
I never went like brazy with it. Like,
But
never
is
went that.
is she like part of Awful in a sense because she's got that Instagram name Awful Madre and stuff? Is she like sort of have like an influence in it and everything?
Yeah, of course. She's like the first person of all of us, the closest one to me.
Really?
Because we met first, back in like first day of college.
Oh, really? It's been
Yeah.
going that long.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's dope.
So yeah.
Did you watch the Slug Christ interview?
No, because I hear Slugs banter like in person. I was like,
What did he say?
The Slug Christ interview?
Yeah, what did Slug? I'm pretty sure I have an idea what he was going to be talking about.
It was a bizarre interview. Like we started talking about consciousness and plants maybe having thoughts and feelings like right away. I don't know how the hell he got us talking about that, but then there's like a moment where you're kind of talking to him about the drug stuff, and if you're a rational, reasonable person, you kind of can't let him just talk about some of this shit without being like, but is very dangerous. I'm worried about you. I barely fucking know you, and I'm worried about you. You know. Like, how the hell did he come into your life? He's like the most off the wall person in Awful I could
Acid.
think of. Acid.
Yeah, I think or shrooms. He came over and gave somebody some shrooms one time. That was my first contact with him. And after that, I saw him perform as or was that might have been after that I saw him perform as Annihilator. One of his projects from way back.
One of the
when.
metal things?
The metal, yeah, it was the
Okay.
metal band. And I was like, oh my god, this motherfucker's so fire. Like, geez, like he had this whole like they had their set was crazy. It was like a house party, like so everybody's moshing inside this fucking living room.
Right.
And Slug pulled this one maneuver that is like it's like the only thing that I think of. I'm just like when like Slug is like completely in the fucking zone. He crawled up his guitarist's back. Like I guess the guitarist was way taller, so he crawled up his back while like mind you, we're still in the living room. He's yelling, but he's like crawling over his back like a goddamn I don't know whatever like a fucking rag around his neck, just like, and then he comes all the way over to the front, and then at the end of like spewing all of this shit out, he curls up into the corner of the room, and just like lays there, just like in like a fetal position. It was almost like he was taking the entire time to expel a bunch of demons.
Right.
And then he was just drained and just sat in the corner.
And you were like, I
the middle of the
I
party.
need this guy on my team.
Not even that. No, that was more like that was just early on. That's like our encounter.
Right.
But it became like it became a team thing all around that same summer.
Right.
Yeah, when we started like really picking like, oh, this person's cool, this person's cool, this person's cool. You're like, yeah, we all been hanging out. You're cool, you're cool, you're cool, you're cool, type shit. It was happening that summer. I was like, so like I'm about to shoot you a fire-ass video, and you awful. Yeah.
And it just went from there?
Yeah, it went from there.
Is he hard to deal with as a person on your label?
Slug likes to do whatever he wants to do. So in that case, yes.
Right.
You can suggest things to him. He's really open-minded though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still open-minded. If I'm just like, nah, Slug, you shouldn't do that. That's not really a great idea. But he's just like, it's so punk rock, man. I'm like, I have to. Like, it's for like, it's so Slug. Like, I'm just like, it is so Slug. But sometimes Slug, you should be, the shell.
But is it hard for you to like worry about what he's doing in his off time? You worried he's just going to show up dead one day or what?
I'm hoping not.
Yeah.
But you can only tell somebody so much before there's like, I have to do this myself.
Yeah.
See through
It's
it.
hard to know what to do.
That's the conclusion we drew on the podcast too. We're like, well,
Yeah.
we can't do shit about it, but I mean, I hope
Yeah.
you work it out or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the most important thing to do as a friend is just be like, I love you. I'm here.
Right.
You can't try and force something though.
Yeah.
That's the truth. Ain't that the truth? Where did you sign was Tommy Genesis and Abra were they already affiliated with you before you started blowing up, or was that kind of like after you already started to?
I had talked to Tommy way back before via like email, because I saw like a video of hers way back when, and I was like, this is fire, but there's no way in hell I'm getting to Vancouver. But eventually, of course, I ended up in Vancouver for a show, and then I met her that way, and I was like, okay, fuck yeah, fuck with us. And then it just became like a thing, like her coming to Atlanta and meeting in various places, meeting in Cali and shit like that. But that was post. after that.
Was there something about like being more successful that made you want to start working with more women? Like you just saw that as being a valuable
Oh,
addition?
no. It was always people that I wanted to work with.
Right.
It was now it's like it's more it was more viable at that point.
Right.
Because I have like there was like because before it's like, oh man, I like your shit. I want to work with you, but I have nothing to show. Yeah. So I waited until I had something to show, and then that's when I hit Aber up. Like I had met her already, but I hit her up after I was like, I have content now. There's things like, hey, I want to do this. Let's work on something together, type shit.
Right.
Yeah. So I knew of them before, but until the ball got rolling is when we actually started to create together.
That's dope. Is it confusing with Abra because that's the name of a Pokemon, or was that actually the origin of her name? I was wondering.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Really?
Like Abracadabra. Yeah.
Oh well, that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that part actually makes a lot more
It was
sense.
more so because, well, I mean, I always assumed it was because she was so elusive.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's obviously where the name of the Pokemon came from too.
Yeah,
Now that
yeah.
I think about it, but yeah,
It's like if you don't catch it the first time, it's
that has a very high escape rate.
high escape rate.
Do you play Pokemon Go?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like a good game to play while you're like in the car bored as fuck.
Right.
It's like, you're just like, oh, there's some shit. Sitting in traffic. Yeah. Or when I'll ride my bike through my neighborhood and just
While
catch
playing it?
Yeah.
Do you have like the mount so that it can like?
Nope. Holding that bitch in my
cool,
hands.
though, right?
I have no case.
You have no case?
I have no
That's
case.
suicide right there. Yeah.
I've been so sketched out. I did it like 5 times. I'm just like, this really ain't happened yet. I ain't dropped it yet. I might make it a year and it's gonna be some dumb shit. People say it's like some dumb shit that always cracks your screen. It's never like the blatant drop.
Right.
Like I could probably drop it in the street and it'd be like, oh, it's a small crack. Nice.
Before you leave LA, you should go to the Santa Monica Pier at some point and see how many people are playing Pokemon at any given time there.
Yeah.
I just saw that shit.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was the wildest
Let's
shit I've ever
go.
seen.
It's fucked. Like running around, fucking like a Dragonite will appear somewhere and you'll see 400 Korean kids flocking.
Why is it like that?
serious?
Is it just they have
It's the
rare
best
shit?
place by far. There's way more there than anywhere else. I don't know why exactly, but they just pick certain areas to make it like spawns for all kinds of shit. We did a solid hour here. I'm pretty proud
Oh,
of that.
yeah,
I think it was a
no.
really good hour. I was just
Yeah.
wondering if there's anything we should cap it off with. You got any like projects or tours or anything like that? That kind of stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's some cool stuff.
The homie who I did Heartthrob with, me and Melty are working on something lengthier. Yeah, that's about it. I don't have any I don't really have a title for it. Nothing. I'm chilling right now.
Do you think there's some kind of like value in like you sort of falling back on your personal music stuff for a while, but and just
Yeah.
helping other people and
For
stuff,
sure.
and then coming
yeah.
back to it?
That's good for the business that I've started.
Right.
Like if I just concentrate on myself, what good is that doing for my business? I'm just gonna be putting my own money into the business when, that makes no sense for me.
Right.
Whereas I could be helping everybody else put out better product and give themselves money and actually be part of some shit that's actually breadwinning and can help fund stuff for real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because otherwise, right now it's mostly I'm gonna come out of my own pocket to start things up. Like if I want to build a studio, I'm gonna be paying for it. So I want it to be like a more viable, like monetarily viable thing.
Right.
So that's basically what I'm concentrating on for
Studio thing, or just getting everybody's
no,
profiles raised
getting
in general?
getting everything, getting the content crisp, like working on content. Back to like how I was doing originally, like really tailoring specific things. Because for a while, blame it on the Xanax, you care a little less, but
You don't care at all.
yeah, you don't care at all. You don't care at all at that point. So your filter, that little filter that you had before, just is gone. So you just start to.
But you're talking about your life like you're sort of like post Xanax now. Do you feel like you sort of have like a new lease on life, having like a clear head?
Oh, it's not a new lease. It's more so just how I was thinking before I was taking those Xanax.
Right.
Yeah, like it's the same. Like I'm the same motherfucker before. I'm like timid, shy. Like I'm not the over the top motherfucker with a mouthful of gold. Like I love stuff in a mouthful of gold, but
Yeah.
I'm not the same guy from last year.
Right.
That is me. Don't get me wrong.
It's
Like,
a version of you.
Yeah, it's a version. Like when they go to the portal and see like the dark version of themselves, like the guy with the goatee,
Right.
like, the full goatee, and like the pointed chin. It's like, wow, this is a dark version of you. Like that was that persona from drug use.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What would your advice be to kids out there who are sort of dealing with that struggle and like have gotten mixed up in the opiates and shit?
Oh, I would just say don't go too deep. I can't tell you what to do really. Like, it's your shit. You probably, if you're already doing it, you're gonna keep going very likely until you realize like this is actually a little self-destructive.
Yeah.
But only you realize something is self-destructive. I could tell you all day like, yo, this is a self-destructive thing. Don't do it. Like, you're gonna be really upset, and you're just gonna make yourself more and more upset every time. Like, even if it was like a one-off thing, you don't really want to be, because chances are you're gonna take some shit, you're gonna drink, 'cause that's what I'm gonna fucking do.
Yeah.
And make one bad decision, and the shit fucked up when you could have just been drunk and maybe a little fucked up, slightly in your right mind, and remember why you did it. But certain shit, you'll just be like, why did I end up in a situation? I don't remember. And then somebody will tell you like, bro, you did this. I'm like, why would I do that? That's not me. You know, but
I heard Maxo was talking to me about fucking somebody who knew killing somebody on Xans, and you remember,
bro,
or
see,
shooting
exactly.
somebody or something.
Exactly.
You know?
You're very likely to do something like that.
Yeah, and he
just
said it in
over
the
the
song
top.
too. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, man, I could really. That's
Yeah.
fucked up. I could see that.
Yeah. You might do some shit over the top and just not think about it, and then you'll do it really sloppily anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not even like you planned it well.
Yeah.
You're gonna do some shit off the spur
Whatever
of
crime
the-
you're doing, you're getting caught.
Yeah, whatever crime you end up doing on some Xanax, you're gonna do it.
It's
Yeah.
the neuralizer
Yeah.
from Men in Black.
Right.
Like extended release.
I was off the Xans and the Jameson, and I told the girl I loved her. I had to explain it to her 2 days later that I was like, that wasn't me. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Damn.
totally different person.
Exactly.
She was really mad.
Yeah, I can fucking imagine, man. A lot of situations like that.
Anyway, Father, Awful Records. Thank you very much to Alex
Shout.
and Jerry. Jerry, right?
Yeah, sure.
Beautiful. Yo, thank you for coming in. This is probably, maybe right behind Cardi and Bones is probably the most requested interview. That's pretty good.
Wait, so you haven't got either one of them?
No.
Wait, no, I've never seen a Cardi one. I thought
No.
you had Bones already. I thought I saw that when I was scrolling.
No, we did Xavier Wolf and Eddie Baker out of their whole crew, but we didn't get Bones yet.
Okay.
Maybe one day.
It was one of the first.
We don't got a lot of liquor left right there. You're probably fucked up.
Yeah, you're about to drink some of this.
I'm about to drink some of it. All right. Hey, Rich Pro Slim interview coming up next. Father, thank you very much for coming through.
Okay, Paul. Okay.
You want me to just kill this or what?
Yeah. Right now.
I gotta probably kill this right now to
Wait,
get on
wait,
your
wait,
level.
wait. Before we start my interview, we're gonna get it set up right. Fat, you moving your chair.
Yeah, I'm not-
Swing that chair over there to Jerry. Jerry, you're gonna be saying some words because you're important.
Woo! Turn up. All right, Father, thank you very much. Appreciate it, man.
Oh man, I love mixing liquor. That's why I was in that chair that time. I was like insane.
No one told you to.
An hour and 10 minutes. That's pretty good. Oh, shit.